Hello and welcome or welcome back to Yarn Tea and Books. My name is Tasha, and along with my husband, we are the humans behind Frogget Yarn's Hand-Dyed Yarns and Mobile Yarn Truck and this YouTube channel. So welcome if you're new, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, I'm happy to have you here this week. This is gonna be an exciting week. I'm gonna release all the details for our 8th anniversary box. I've got some exciting progress on my whips. I've got a finished project and a little bit of book chat. There's not much in the way of shop news, just the anniversary box details and some club reminders, and that's it. So it might be pretty short today. So welcome in. I'm glad that you're back. We'll start with Mugwatch. For Mugwatch this week, I've got my Riverstone Pottery mug. This is her, I think she called it Wild Orchid colorway, glaze. I think that's what it is. I checked this morning before I started recording, and today is Thursday, June 19th. She does have some pieces in her shop right now. She's got a few mugs. There was some like spoon rests. There's a yarn bowl. So she's got a few pieces in her shop. Go check her out. I love this mug. It's huge. It holds a lot of tea. So let's get right into it and start with FOs, finished objects. And I've got one. And I'm pretty happy with it. So it is still a little damp, but my spin is done. I've got two nice size skeins. One is bigger than the other. And then once both of my bobbins were plied, there was a little bit left on one bobbin. I never seem to get it exact. There's always like one bobbin with a little bit more than the other. So this is the little baby skein from the leftovers. I took it off the bobbin, wound it into a cake so I could pull from the center and the outside at the same time to make my 2-ply. And you can see that this one is much more color blocked because it came from the same bobbin, whereas these came from 2 separate bobbins, 1 ply of each. So I'm very happy with that. That was 100% Targhee from Bauer Family Farm. That's their info. I had one that was 4.1 ounces and the other one was 4.2 ounces. And I spun 2 singles and plied them together for a nice plumpy 2-ply. It is very squishy. Again, it's still damp. I think overall my bigger skein had 122 grams and 296 wraps. Now my nitty knotty is a 2-yard nitty knotty, but the more you put on it, it's not exactly accurate, because the more you put on it, the more it's going on top of each other. So your wraps are not all exactly the same. I'm saying about 5 at 296 wraps. If I take off a few yards because of being so much on the nitty knotty, 580 to 590 yards. And then my other skein was 200 wraps, 102 grams. So that's about 400 yards. So that's the thinnest I have ever spun. I think it's coming right out overall at a fingering weight. And I have never been able to spin and ply a fingering weight yarn. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to open them back up because they are still wet. I'm going to hang them here so they can continue to dry. But yeah, that's done. I have already picked out fiber for my next spin. And yeah, I'll talk about that in whips. And that is it for finished objects. So that will take us to whips. There's been pretty good progress on the whips. So we'll start with the Grid Gambit Cowl for Mr. Frogget. So this is a design by Samantha Guerin. And I am using 1 ball of Feederbrook Farms Entropy DK. This is their bioluminescence color. And 1 ball of Frogget Yarns Rambouillet DK in the colorway Ash. So that's his 2 colors. Let me see. This is where you cast on. So you're working this way, but this is the top. So we're back into those deep, moody colors. We're coming up to the purples. So yeah, I am on the 3rd chart. There are only 4. So it's moving right along. And he's excited, even though, you know, it's going to be almost 100 degrees next week. He can't wear it. The other big whip progress is my Boxy Blooms cardigan. So I already showed you, I got to get it all worked around. There's the back. The back is done. Then I had to make 2 fronts. So the left front is done. So here's my, yes, all done. And I have started on the right front. These take no time at all because you're decreasing up this, you know, up the side for the neckband. So every other row gets, I think, like 4 stitches shorter, which it worked up super, super fast. So after the fronts are done, it's just 2 little sleeves, and then I get to seam it all together. And then it does get a border around the neckband for the button band and then around the bottom, but it'll all be at least sewn together. So loving that. It's coming along nicely. I'm having a good time working on that. And it's easy now because I've got the pattern repeat pretty much memorized. So it's coming along nicely. Before I get into my last whip, because my last whip will kind of take us into shop news. My next spin, I did pull out fiber for my next spin. So I'm gonna take it out of the bag so it's not so crinkly. They're really crinkly. So next I want to do a 3-ply. I've never done and spun a 3-ply before. So I decided to pick 3 different braids, kind of like a light, a medium, and a dark. And I'll spin them each end to end. And then when I have 3 full bobbins, I will ply them together. So the first one I chose is from Lair of the Llama. This is her 100% Cormo wool in the colorway Terracotta. So that's that one. Then I'm going to spin, this is also by Lair of the Llama. It's also 100% Cormo wool, a Dusty Color C. And that one is just gorgeous. I grabbed all of these when we were in Worcester for the Great Lakes Fiber Show. And then my 3rd ply is going to be a Merino Yak Silk blend, which I've never spun before. And this is the colorway Plums. So this will just inherently be a couple of shades darker because the yak is a darker base. So I'm going to spin all of them as a single, and then I'm going to apply them together. I think that'll be amazing. Yeah. So that's going to be my next spin. Now that the wheel is empty and she's ready to go. So I've already got a bigger spin on my other electric wheel. So I don't want to pause that. I'll just use my electric eel wheel, and yeah, it's a fun spin. So that will lead us into my last whip, which will be a full peek at our upcoming anniversary box. So July 1st is when we first opened our doors as Frogget Yarns. We did not have our own line of yarns at that time. We started with yarns from other dyers and other makers. And then we gradually transitioned over to our own hand-dyed yarns. So to celebrate year number 8, we are releasing our box, our anniversary box. 8 years of making friends and dyeing yarn and meeting all of you. So I've created a custom color just for us. I've started some socks, and then I'll show you all the other elements. So here is the color. There is a little pop of, I'll show you the full skein. So that's my one sock. I am completely down to the heel. I've also started sock number 2. And when I get to the heel of that one, I'll do both heels at the same time. So here is the color. It is called Frog and Toad. And it's very like vintage Frog and Toad, cottage core. That's the mini. This is called Fallen Log. So that's our Frog and Toad colorway. I also want to show you my t-shirt because I bought a shirt just for this. I got a Frog and Toad t-shirt. They're on their little bike. So cute. Now, that will take us into shop news because let's chat. So the box is going to contain a fingering weight sock set. They're all going to be fingering weight. They will all be pre-packaged, ready to go as soon as I have all of the elements. But for ease of me not knowing what base you're going to want, and I only have 25. So our inspiration for the color was the book, Frog and Toad Are Friends, because we love meeting our yarny friends. So we've got the mushrooms. They're reading a book together. Just so, right? Perfect. But wait. Wait until you see the absolute, oh gosh, how did I get so tangled up? Okay. There's a charm, folks. So we reached out to Kelsey and we asked her if she wanted to be a featured maker for the box, if she had time in her schedule to make an exclusive charm. And she said yes, absolutely. So we were delighted. I actually got 2 because the first one that she made wasn't quite what she wanted it to be. She really wanted it to be this, the 2, Frog and Toad, sitting together, reading a book. And the first one just came out the frog was just a little too big, but she made me a special one, and I'll show you that one. This is the one that's going to be in the box. Okay. I mean, hold on to your hats. It's the cutest thing in the world. We've got Frog and Toad reading a book, sitting together. There's a little mushroom. There's a tiny little flower. The vines. I mean, I can't even with the detail. There's some gold on the corners. There's a mushroom on the spine. That's going to be harder to see. There's a gold mushroom on the spine. I mean, can you even with that cuteness? Kelsey said this is by far her favorite charm that she's ever made. I'm in love with this charm. So here are the details of the box. Every box will contain a fingering weight sock set. One full-size skein, one 20-gram mini. Every box will also contain a copy of Frog and Toad Are Friends. Listen, give this to your favorite little. Save it for a birthday or birthday party, kid's birthday party, a baby shower. Donate it to your free little local library. We have a free little library right downtown. Any kid would love to have this. Okay, so you get the yarn, you get the book, you get the charm. You are also getting a small project bag. I do not have the project bag because there has been kind of a bump in the road. So our original bag maker had some extenuating circumstances and she had to back out of the collaboration, which is fine. So we reached out to another bag maker and friend that we know and asked her if she had time to make us 25 small, I mean, I'm talking one skein, like it's going to hold your yarn in your sock. So small project bag. She said yes. Right away, she started sourcing fabric. I've seen the fabric. It is adorable. Fits the theme perfectly. But I want you all to go give her some love over on Instagram. I will link her below. She is Shannon's Fun Bags. She's delightful. We love, love, love Shannon. And she's coming in clutch for us because without this, I don't know what we would have done. There wouldn't have been a bag in the box, which I really wanted. I wanted you to have an all-over base for a project. You had your yarn, you have your progress keeper and or stitch marker, and you have a bag. So she's making bags for us. As soon as she gets one made, I will get a picture to at least show the bag. It's just going to be a small project bag, one skein. I think it's going to just be a small zippered kind of project bag. She makes very nice project bags. The boxes will be $80. It worked out perfectly. It's our 8th year. And with all of the things that we're putting in, that price worked out perfectly. There will be a few other little just fun surprises that we're going to throw in. Nothing, nothing big that you need to see. It'll at least be a little bit of a surprise. So that's the Frog and Toad 8th anniversary box. They go on sale July 1st, 9 a.m. There are only 25. Now, there will be a separate listing for just the yarn where you can pick multiple weights. Okay, so there'll be a full birthday box listing that you'll get everything in the box, but only on fingering weight yarn. There will be a separate listing just for the yarn because the yarn is going to be a full-time color. Okay, it makes its debut on July the 1st, but the yarn is not limited. Only the boxes are limited. I only had, my makers only had enough time to make this many. That's what worked. 25 was the magic number. So if you want more of the yarn or you want it on a different base, a thicker base, you can get just the yarn. Kelsey will also have the charms in her shop on July the 1st. So if you just want the yarn and a charm, you can do that. You can get the yarn from us and then go to Kelsey's Etsy shop. She'll always be linked below, and pick up a charm. I don't know how many charms she's going to have. I don't know if they'll be ready to ship or pre-order. Make sure you read the listing, because sometimes she has, you know, the products up, but they're a pre-order and they're going to take a while for her to make. So charms you can get just from Kelsey if you just want the charm. Even if you just want the charm, you don't want the yarn or the box, if you just want the charm. So there'll be 2 listings. Like I said, one for just the box, which will have everything in it, but only on fingering weight yarn, and there will only be 25. When they're gone, they're gone. I have exactly 25 of everything that's going in the box. But if you just want yarn, or you want extra yarn for a project, or you just want, you know, DK or worsted, you know, I'm going to pick the bases that I know it'll work on. And that'll be a separate listing for just the frog and toad yarn. So those are your options. You can get the box that has everything, or you can just get the yarn. You can do both. The boxes will run from July the 1st until July the 14th, because on July 15th, the next club goes for pre-order, and I don't want the boxes overlapping with club. So there'll be 14 days to get the boxes, and that's it. Does that make sense? I don't want the boxes to go into the club pre-order, because if someone orders club and a box, then they're going to be waiting extra long, because we don't ship club till the end of the month. So they will come down on the 14th. Hopefully they'll be all gone. If they're not all gone by the 14th, then I'll figure something out. But there is only 25. So I'm thinking they're going to go fairly quickly. At least I hope so. So that's the scoop on the boxes. Frog and Toad. It's our 8th anniversary. It's just a fun box, right? Frog and Toad. I grew up reading these books. Like I said, this is a great gift to give to your favorite little, take it to a baby shower, pop it in your little free library that may be local to you. This is just a great little story. So that's the scoop on Frog and Toad. I hope that you're all excited. I'm very excited. We've been working so hard to pull this all together, to overcome the hiccup with the bags. Not gonna lie, I was very, very freaked out when that all happened, because I was like, oh, I don't sew. So I did not know what we were going to do. So go show Shannon some love. I will link her Instagram below. She is coming in clutch for us. And I know you're going to love the bags. I've seen the fabric again. It is amazing. But I'm so happy with this color. So this is called Frog and Toad. That's the box. It's going to be amazing. I hope you're all excited about that. I am. I'm excited to get them all out into the world. We've got the perfect little size boxes. They're going to be wrapped really cute. It's going to be a fun time. The other reminder for shop news is July's club. When I said that earlier, I meant August club. July's club is open for pre-order right now. So July's Lily Pad Club is up. We are down to 7 book charms left. So that's the book charm for July. For our book, The Rose Bargain. And here's our color palette. And those pre-orders are going right now. They will run until June 30th. And then they'll come down. There are 7 book charms left, and that is it. Again, when they're gone, they're gone. I only get a set number every single month. That's it for shop news. Boxes, anniversary boxes, July 1st. Mark your calendars, set an alarm. Yeah. They will ship as soon as I have the bags. I have everything else. Well, I don't have the charms, but they are being sent. And then again, because the bag bumble happened, she's going to make them as quickly as possible. So I've asked her if we can ship the boxes, you know, by the 15th, 16th, something like that. Between the 15th and the 20th, that's how that will work. And that'll all be in the listing. So make sure you're reading the listing because they will not ship the day that you order them. I have to make sure I have all the components. All that to say, if you have any questions about the boxes, if you have any questions about club, pop them down below. Leave me a comment. I will gladly answer any questions that you may have if I forgot something. I think I covered everything, but if you have a question, absolutely let me know. Let's move on to book chat. Book chat. I finished our June book, To Kill a Shadow by Katherine Quinn. This is the one we're reading all this month. And I really liked it. This is YA, so you don't get any spice. There's a tiny bit of steam, but it's literally kissing. This was really good. I love a good YA. YA fantasy reads very quickly. So I flew through it. I already have the second one that I'm probably going to start. I don't know if I'm going to start it this week. I probably should. I haven't decided if I'm going to start it here in June or if I'm going to save it for my July TBR. We'll see. TBD. The other thing I finished book was Wildoak. This is a middle grade. This was magical, but not in like the people have magic way. There was no magic in this. This was not a fantasy at all. This was so good. So our main character, Maggie, she's 12 years old. She suffers from a really sometimes debilitating stutter. So she is spending the summer with her grandfather out in the English countryside, and she discovers this snow leopard that's been abandoned and released into the wild where he does not belong. His name is Rumpus, and they become fast friends. And it's really a lesson in speaking out for what you believe in, even if it's hard. And I did tear up at the end. She finally, you know, she found her voice, even though she hated speaking in front of people. It was really, really, really so good. So I highly recommend Wildoak. This was just very feel-good vibes. Yeah, I loved it. So that was my other finish. I also finished part 1 of the Onyx Storm graphic audio. I'm listening to this. This is my re-listen to get me back into that world for Advent Dying, but part 2 does not come out until July 1st, I think. So I've had to pause that because I thought I could savor it and make it last, and I just couldn't. Onyx Storm is my favorite book of the 3 so far. And so I gobbled it up. So I had to move on to something else. So I had the graphic audio version of A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a series by Sarah J. Maas. I reread this series every year. You know how you just have those books where every year you want to revisit that world. That is A Court of Thorns and Roses for me. There are 5 books in the series. I have read them more times than I can count. And so I've never listened to the graphic audio. I've listened to the regular audio. I have all the copies. I've listened to the, the regular audio, like I just said, but I've never done the graphic audio. And I knew that Anthony Palmini is the voice of Rhysand. Anthony Palmini is by far my favorite male audiobook narrator. Literally, I would listen to him read me the dictionary. So he is the voice of Rhysand, and I just couldn't resist. So I've been listening to that. I finished the first half. It's a very short one. I think it's maybe 10-ish hours total between the 2 halves. The book is not long anyway. So I just got into the second part of that. And yeah, it's a fun time. So been listening to that while we're in the studio, working on our big secret wholesale order and getting that read. I think I'm also going to start Trial of the Sun Queen this week, probably today. This is the first in a 4-book series by Nisha Tuli. And I've heard only good things. And this has been on my TBR for a while. I have the first 2, so gonna get into that. I also plan to finish Freyrin before the end of the month. I'm this far in. So these are mangas, so they don't take a lot of time. It's a lot of pictures, but this is a fun, kind of cozy, magical fantasy story, and this is volume 5, and I've been enjoying that manga for a while. The other thing that I would love to start, and I know it's like the 19th of June already, but I want to read A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. This is just a cozy fantasy. I think very low stakes. So I'm excited to read this. I also have the second one, which is A Fellowship of Librarians, Dragons and Librarians, or I don't know. This is like a baking cook-off show, so I think it's like, yeah. Anyway, want to read that one too, possibly before the end of the month. And I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that might be it. I think we've reached the end, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you're reading. Are you reading our June book? Have you finished it? We chat about it over on the Discord. The Discord has its moments where everyone's chatting, everyone's sharing what they're reading, whether it's our book pick or whether it's other books. I know Anita is over there, and she just finished Fourth Wing, and she loved it very much. So she took a break before she starts Iron Flame. She said she needed something less heart attack inducing. So I'm glad that she's loving that. Discord is always free. It's always linked below. Yeah, you can come join us to chat about anything. We chat about our whips. We chat about our reading. It's just another place for community, another place to come and chat, get some book recommendations, get some pattern recommendations. It's a good time. It's a nice little group we've got over there, and we'd love to have more of you. Yeah, so that's going to do it for me. I hope that you are all well. It is about to get real warm here in South Central PA. I think next week we're looking at 4 days in the high 90s. Yuck, I won't be leaving my house. But yeah, summer has arrived. It is the first day of summer as of the day that you're watching this, which is Saturday. So yeah, I hope that you're all well. I will see you right back here next week. Same time, same place. Remember to take care of yourselves. Take care of each other, please. And yeah, with all of that being said, happy making. I'll see you next week. Bye.